Hey everybody, welcome back. We're doing another Marvel Future Revolution video. In this video, we're going to be talking about something that recently happened in the game. Was it the best thing that's ever happened or the worst thing? So we got some compensation. Well, some people got some compensation for an offer that came in game. I want to talk about this a little bit. I'm going to give you both sides of what I think the argument is here. And we'll see if I come to a conclusion or not. But I definitely wanted to share because it is an interesting aspect of the game. I've heard a lot of different opinions. So I'm going to share a little bit. If you're new to the channel, I typically don't always do, this sort of thing. But I did want to analyze this a little bit, and I'm very interested in hearing what everyone has to think about it. So if you'd let me know below, obviously give me whatever constructive thought you have toward it. I'm sure there's going to be people, that's stupid, it sucks. But I'd like to hear, honestly, why? What about it makes you feel that way? Same thing with if you think it's the greatest thing in the world, what makes you feel that way? And even so, if you did love it, I'd love to hear if you understand why someone didn't like it and vice versa. Sometimes it's hard for us to make opinions or thoughts about certain things and remove ourselves from that. Like if I got a bunch of compensation, I love it, it's great, but I'd like to try to remove myself from that situation and go, well, what if I didn't get compensation and I'm looking at somebody who did, or vice versa? If I didn't get any and, someone who did something and they got a bunch of compensation, how would they feel if they didn't get that compensation given what had happened previously? So that's what I'm going to sort of try to analyze in this. So anyway, I already mentioned Discord channel, hammer down like buttons and click notification bells, subscribe, etc. And if you want to share with aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, grandmas, grandpas, always appreciate that. So, all right, let's check it out.
WolverThor.
So not too long ago, they being Netmarble, had a draw offer. It's now in the game. It's back in the game. What it was, and I think it was right after Magic came out, they had some increased drop rates for, it was it's what's in here now, Steampunk, Eyes of Osiris, and Rise of the East. So a lot of people opened a lot of these. They used a lot of draw tickets and to try to get these costumes. I was talking to somebody in particular who had done, look at that, who had done, I don't know, 1,500 pulls or something along those lines. I mean, it was maybe it was 1,700 pulls, but there's a wide range of the amount of pulls that people did for that particular draw. And I was like, okay, I get that. You want to get certain draws. Magic was in the game. It was, there were actual things people were excited about. So the problem is that Netmarble actually didn't have the drop rates accurate. And so what it was people were trying to get these costumes. And it might have said, when you come in here, I'm sure most of you know this. If you don't know this, you absolutely should know this, is it shows the details of the chances of the drops. You're going to want to know these. By law, any mobile game company has to disclose these. They have to tell you the chance that you get to get any of these things. It's just what they have to do. And a lot of countries are different. They have different laws, all sorts of different things. And gaming companies have to sort of think about every country that they're in and making sure that they comply with these things. Additionally, if they sell offers for these sort of things, they actually have to give the player or the person what the offer says. Otherwise, it's sort of a false advertising legal situation. So, having said that, knowing that those sort of laws are out there and that gaming companies, Netmarble being one of them, has to abide by those sort of laws, they had this draw set out there. And whatever it was, and I don't know the specific numbers, but it showed that, let's just say Rise of the East showed in at, 0.02. But in actuality, maybe it was 0.001 or something like that. So the rates were off. Netmarble somehow realized this. I don't know if it was posted by people who actually figured out the rates, or they were, running numbers, whatever. I mean, you have to have a large data set to actually figure that out. But Netmarble took the banner down. There were several days that they took the banner down. Now, before they took the banner down, there were numerous people who, like I said, opened some 1,700 total draws or 170 10 pulls. That's a lot. There are some people who did 30. So all of those people used these draws to get this or have better chances to get this gear. Now, when Netmarble realized, or however they realized, that that wasn't the actual case, they had a big problem on their hands, because those people who spent or used those draws to get these things were technically not getting what they should have been. That could lead to potential legal problems, frankly, because you've got to advertise the right thing, right? And again, I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV. So, but the general concept there, some of the stuff I do for work, I get some legality stuff. Yeah, I'm sure there's some fine points in there, but the concept is there where you've actually got to, if someone's purchasing something like this, you've got to have the right rates. Otherwise, you're, misleading them into buy something that's not really what's there. So after they took it out, they actually recently gave compensation back to all these people. Now, I mentioned somebody who had 1,700 pulls. That type of person would have gotten all 1,700 of their pulls back, but they still get to keep what they did before. Same thing if somebody did 30. They did 30 and they got the compensation back, and they still got to keep those 30 pulls. So from their perspectives, I actually think that's the right thing to do from Netmarble and for the person, because if they don't do that, they're straight up, yes, that person got stuff, but they also didn't get what they paid for. So now how to fix that exactly, I don't know. I don't. Maybe there's some formula out there that says, well, they got this, but still, it's like they weren't going for that. They wanted this, so I guess you could take all that away and then give them all that back. But if they've crunched it or something like that, holy cow, would that be a serious effort, I would think, to get something. You're not trying to character reset people or, do some sort of server reset. So from that regard, I get it. Now, what I'm hearing from the other side is a lot of people going, well, that's not fair. They already got a bunch of fodder for their stuff, and now they're getting these things that they should, that they're going to get to roll again. And I understand that as well. It's like, yeah, that's, sort of frustrating. But when you're looking at it from the other end that I mentioned earlier, I'm like, Netmarble kind of has to do that. So I'm sort of seeing both sides of the equation here, frankly. And I know that's not really a position, I guess. But at the same time, I feel like it is. You know what I mean? I understand that you need to give the people who open stuff and miss stuff, you've got to give them basically the right to go get what they paid for or use those things for. You have to. Like, you just can't not do that. And at the other time, I understand how some of these other people are upset. So to me, I'm good with what they did with the people who opened the draws and saw that. What I would have loved, to me, in a perfect world here, what I would have loved to see is for the people who didn't get or use anything, is that maybe they got some sort of like equivalent of basically like if Netmarble could look at all of the people who opened these draws and didn't get what they were supposed to, but they got a lot of fodder. Maybe the 1,700 draw is like, let's just say that's the high end extreme, and maybe there's another one with 5. Maybe you remove those 2 and then take the median of what's left and say let's just say it's 70 draws, and then you take 70 costume draws and you literally just send it to everybody and just go, you know what? Here is 70 costume draws. Everybody, we screwed this up. We're sorry. These 70 costume draws will hopefully make everybody who didn't do anything here and or is upset that this other group that paid for it, that you have to compensate. In my opinion, you have to do it. If you give those people who didn't do anything, I feel like that would feel a little better. And I know sometimes feelings are kind of like, all right. But I don't know. It just just thinking about it, and I sort of came up with that on the fly a little bit. I didn't even think about it beforehand, but it seems like it would be the right way to handle that. I don't know if they could even do that, but it would look cool, or it would be cool in my mind to just, sort of see if you can do something like that. So I don't, at this point, it's probably too late to do it. Is this the best compensation I've ever seen? I think it's the most fair, frankly. I don't know if it's the best, but I think it's the most fair as far as those who spent and were expecting something. And then, I like I said, to make it so that you've got the other set of people, I would try to find a way to throw them something that is like, let's be real. Like, you need several hundreds of draws. Like, I've got 45 draws right there. Like, if I pulled that, I'm not going to get, I'd have to get insanely lucky to be able to even nano one piece, right? So, you got 4 pieces, you got 7 nanos each. There's so much gear to build up into that. And then you've got multiple characters too that you might want to build up. And that seems to be becoming a thing more and more, is people are saying, well, I like Storm for this mode, or I like, Iron Man for these modes, or, I like Black Widow over here. And, Iron Man and Black Widow are sort of versatile where they can pretty much do well in any game mode. But, Storm's pretty good at almost all the PvE modes, Spec Ops, Invasion, stuff like that. She sort of reigns supreme there. So you do see people wanting to make up these or create a multiple tunes. So that's where I think, I don't think it would be that bad for Netmarble to do it. So anyway, tell me what you think about that. Am I totally off base on both of these ideas? I wanted to bring it up, one, just to sort of draw attention to it if you didn't see it. And I also, look, I have to give credit to Netmarble for doing that with it. I've played a number of other games, and I'm not convinced that they do anything like that. And then at the same time, I wanted to bring up that I understood where some of the people who are also a little upset and maybe, feeling disadvantaged because these other people kind of got double their, draws. And maybe there's a way to make up for that. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Maybe suggest the Netmarble, bring it up on the forum. See if maybe we can, get some additional stuff there for the people who weren't involved in pulling any draws. Or, again, like I said, I just love to hear from you guys. Comment below. Come to the Discord in the link below. Hammer down like button. Click notification bell. Subscribe. All that sort of thing. And like I said earlier, I normally don't do rambling type videos like this, or maybe I do. I don't know. Whatever. This feels slightly different than some of the stuff I do, but I just felt like it was a video I should put out. So here I am. Here am what I say. I hope you appreciate it. That's all I got. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.